Hello, everyone. Welcome to another great and fantastic episode of the Horror Heathen YouTube channel and the South Jersey Horror Podcast. Today, I'm joined by a very special guest, the beautiful, the talented, I hope I pronounced your name right, Giovannie Cruz.
Yeah, you
Um,
got it.
Sweet, awesome, a one for one. I love it. Who plays Officer Huxley in the movie Suitable Flesh? I just watched the movie yesterday for the first time, and I fell in love with the movie. I'm a huge Lovecraftian film fan, and I saw everything that has to do with H.P. Lovecraft, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was entertained. I mean,
It's
it's just,
ridiculous. It's one of my favorite ridiculous movies. Yeah, it's wild.
and just watching it's been dubbed as a what do the critics call it?
A
Um,
sexy Lovecraftian film. I've heard that
something like
one.
that. A gory, horny eroticism movie. That's what they called
Yes.
it.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it's about self-love in a way.
Okay, I guess I'll bite on that one. Okay, I'll take that one.
It's about
Self
self-love in a
love.
way.
Okay,
If you're
okay.
a psychopathic body snatcher type. Yeah.
But something I was not expected to watch in the movie that and I loved it. It was great. Um, so reading your bio, we have a few things in common. You were born on an American military installation in Würzburg, Germany,
Mhm.
and two parents from the Caribbean island of Puerto Rico, which I'm hoping to visit one of these days. I've always wanted to go to San Juan. Um, you and your family relocated to Texas. I'm so sorry. To Texas,
Yeah.
where you grew up, and eventually you attended the University of North Texas College of Music, where you graduated with a bachelor's degree in opera and early music, which is really cool, by the way. I didn't know that program even existed in colleges. Um,
Yeah. Yep.
because
Only
I
in
got my
like
master's.
three. Only like three in the country, but like, yeah, yep. Opera. There are a few opera schools, and then there are a few, even fewer early music
That's
schools. Yeah.
fascinating. I'm intrigued. I want to know more about that. So, in the years since, you worked in film, television, and as an anime voice actor and music director for Sony's Funimation Productions, now Crunchyroll,
Mhm.
and which I think is great because my stepdaughter loves watching Crunchyroll. She loves the anime. She's a huge anime junkie, and it drives me
Yeah.
nuts sometimes. But hey, everyone likes their own thing, so I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. And well, and honestly, like there's something for everybody in anime. There really is. Like even the horror fan, there's something for everybody in anime.
I mean, I used to watch like the early '90s anime, like called Blue Seed and Rama Half One Half, which I thoroughly loved. But now it's like it's not the same as it was back in the '90s.
You know, I would suggest watching for you Chainsaw Man. That might be a good one for you like if you're into horror and gore. Like Chainsaw Man is a fun one to watch.
Okay, I have to check that out. I mean, I'm trying to slowly reintegrate back into anime because my daughter watches it and she loves all types of anime. Sailor Moon's like her biggest thing.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and hazard a guess that what your daughter's watching is not the kind of anime that you want to watch, but there is anime for everybody. There like these days there literally is anime for everybody. So
I was told to watch Attack on Titan AE or something like that.
oh,
So
that one's good too. Yeah, that one's a good one too. I co-signed to that.
did you really?
I co-signed
Nice.
to Attack on Titan. It's that one's a good one. Yeah, and it just wrapped. A bunch of my friends were on that one, and I know the voice director on that one, and that one's a good one for sure.
So I tried to watch a few episodes that first came out, and I like, what in the Pornhub pyramid am I watching here? This just looks so weird.
Keep watching, keep watching, keep watching. Yeah, you've got these giant like naked monster babies running around. It's whack, but it is fun. And it gets real dark. It gets real political and real dark and real gory. And yeah. Just keep watching.
But it's something huge though because I see people cosplaying it every once in a while, at cons and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
everything on Amazon. They have all these cosplay outfits on Amazon. I'm like, dude, this must be like a really huge anime series if they have doing all this shit for it. So
Yeah. Well, try that one. Try Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man's crazy. Metallic Rouge is one that's out now. That's really fun. It's about like robots and shit. I mean, they have like a lot of really fun anime. And listen, I don't watch a lot of anime myself because like there's so many out there. But the ones that I tend to veer towards are the darker ones, like the ones that I've just
okay,
mentioned. Yeah.
so you're into horror, which is really good.
Yeah.
I love you already. So as you see behind me, I got my little Michael Myers collection going on.
I know,
So
I saw that. I saw that. And then I was looking at you've got a bunch of signed autographs in the back.
yes, I do.
Yeah, I don't see Bonnie. Is that is that Bonnie in the corner? Is that who's that in the bottom like corner
Like
next to the
right
guy?
here,
Nope, other side.
over there.
Yeah. Yeah, but the next
No,
one. That one.
that is Deborah. That's Deborah Foreman. She
Oh,
was in
okay,
the
okay.
movie called Demons Within. I was asked to attend the premiere, so as a special guest, and she was there doing autographs. And I was like, "Could I get an autograph with you?" And she's like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." Half
Yeah,
those autographs didn't cost me anything because they usually give you autographs after I interview them, which is really cool.
that's great.
So,
That's great. Yeah. It looked like Bonnie. What's Bonnie's last name? She's the nun. Um
oh, Bonnie Aaron's. No, yeah, I know
Bonnie,
what you're talking about.
yes. Yes,
Yes.
Bonnie Ernst. And then she also did so the first movie that I did with the people that did Suitable Flesh is Barbara Crampton's project. And the first Barbara Crampton project I did had Bonnie Aarons in it as the master. She was a vampire, which was really cool. So like small world. So I was like, oh, is that Bonnie's picture back there? Because yeah,
I'm trying really hard to get her on my show, but I just can't do it. So,
Bonnie. Yeah, I don't
yeah.
know her well enough to be like Bonnie, get on this guy's show. But if I could, I would.
Well, then she's there's some implications going on with her right now with Warner Brothers Studios or something whoever did the Nun movies.
It's Warner Brothers.
She's
Yep.
got a lawsuit going on. It's why she can't talk about the Nun movies at all. So
Oh, I had
yeah.
no idea. I had
Yeah,
no idea
apparently,
that she was, yeah.
apparently there's a bunch of all of the products and merchandise are making for the movies. She's not making any profit from it, and it's pissing her off. So she's not.
Mm,
She fought a lawsuit, which I don't blame her. I mean, she should get something for all that. I mean,
yeah, she is literally the nun. Like
yeah,
she's in the Conjuring, like three of the however many movies in the Conjuring verse, it like revolve around the nun. Like,
yeah.
hello.
And yeah, so I fully support her lawsuit. I mean, I'm like, I hope you get a shit ton of money from your lawsuit because
Yeah,
you
same,
deserve it.
same.
So.
Ditto. Ditto. Mm-hmm.
So, so yeah, she's one actress I'm trying to get, and they're trying to work with me. And I'm like, it's gonna take some time. I understand. It's cool. I'll do something in between, not a problem. So
Yeah.
yeah. But what really fascinates me about you is that you were in Suicide Squad. Which I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, I love Suicide Squad. It's one of my favorite movies. I'm not a big DC fan, but they did Suicide Squad really well. Um,
Yeah. Well, and James Gunn has a background in trauma. So like he's into making things kind of ooey gooey. And there were some ooey gooey parts in Suicide Squad, which were a lot of fun. So yeah. I mean, James has got a different personality. He's just a fun
and
guy.
you're also in Guardians of the Galaxy, which is really cool. So,
Hmm.
which is I'm super jealous because I would love to be really close to Chris Pratt, but it's never gonna happen.
He's a cool dude too. Like,
But yeah, I would love to be Chris Pratt. He's like up there in like the top 25 of my list to interview one of these days. So, but yeah, Super Flesh is an all over the place, mixing body horror, swapping amorousness, and even some campy comedy, which I thoroughly enjoyed a lot.
yeah,
So you said you're a fan of HP. Are you a fan of HP Lovecraft
I
and what he
am.
does in the films?
So yes, I am. I have a love-hate relationship with HP because, as we all know, HP did not love the people like me. He was, into eugenics and white is right and all of this. And I'm a Puerto Rican girl that is definitely mixed. So I'm like, I have a love-hate relationship, but I love like this concept of the Cthulhu and the high, like this sort of high sci-fi concept that he's created, and this world, the world that he's just kind of created for horror, and he's like really like the first horror, like the grandfather of horror, I think. And so yeah, I love a lot of his work. It's sort of like the art, not the artist kind of situation for me. But what's great about Suitable Flesh is, Joe Lynch, who directed it, and Barbara Crampton are kind of in the same boat where they're like, we love Lovecraft, we love the stories and the horror and Cthulhu lore and all of this stuff, but like we don't necessarily agree with the artists. And but also know that the artist evolved eventually to like not be, racist. But like Eventually, like towards the end of his life, he was a cool dude, but they took this story that was originally about a dude, right? Like, and they set the lead as a woman, and then just made this whole thing around it and stuff. So it was really great working on this project with them because we all love the stories and love the work and just wanted to like modernize the idea.
Exactly, I get it. It's like a lot of movies now are stemming from H.P. Lovecraft's vision.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. Did you
Color
watch
Out
the
of
color? What
Space,
was it? The Color of Sound with Nick
color
Cage or
color out of
whatever.
color out of
Color of
space. Yes.
Space. That's it with Nick
Yes.
Cage. Yeah, that was another like really fun loopy dude.
Have you seen Glory Hole? That movie was so hilarious. I mean,
I haven't seen that one. No.
because the guy who does the voice for the State Farm guy, or not State Farm, Farmer, what is it? State Farm Insurance. Is it State Farm Insurance?
Is it
Not
Mayhem? Are you
Jacob.
thinking Mayhem?
No, no, that's Allstate. The older guy who wears the glasses, he has a really deep voice.
Yes. Yeah, Allstate. Black
He-
dude.
no, 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 no. We are farmers. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, he was in Whiplash.
Yeah, he does the voice for the creature in Glory Hole, which is he does it so well. It's great. It's also a comedy horror. It takes all place in one location, and I love the movie. So it's another that's has some Lovecraft stuff in it too. So
J.K. Simmons. You're thinking of J.K. Simmons, right?
yes, J.K.
J.K.
Simmons.
Simmons.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I love that dude. I love watching him in his commercials. It just cracks me up.
His work is so good. I would love to have a career like J.K. Simmons. Like he's a solid, yeah, he's a solid actor for sure.
Yeah, check out Glory Hole. You'll love it. I mean, if
Glory hole.
if,
I won't.
if you're in H.P. Lovecraft, you will love it in Glory Hole. Hell House movies stem from H.P. Lovecraft as well,
I haven't
and
watched
not
those.
in but not in a cosmic horror way, more of like creature kind of thing going on. So
Hmm.
it's weird. It's all paranormal, but there's an H.P. Lovecraft in it as well. And
Hmm.
Hell House, the Carmichael Manor had no, but anyway, yeah, it's all a good series. So how did you hear about the role of Officer Huxley and what inspired you to audition for it?
So, Barbara Crampton, as I mentioned her name a few times already. Barbara Crampton, she hates being called a scream queen, so I won't call her that. But she is sort of like a big female icon in horror film. She was in the original um, H.P. Lovecraft's
Reanimator series?
Reanimator series, exactly, and had started. She had started producing her own movies, and just kind of reinvigorating. I mean, her children are grown, and she wanted to get back into this genre that has been so good to her. And so she started with a movie called Jacob's Wife, which is a vampire, sort of like a feminist vampire movie where Bonnie Aarons is the
Yep, I
master
saw it.
in that one.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, and so she cast me in that film. I auditioned through the proper channels for that film, and they cast me as a character in that film. And unfortunately, like she called me, and she's so sweet. She called me herself and was like, "Hey, we sold the movie to these distributors and they wanted us to cut it down. They were very strict about how long they wanted the movie to be. So we had to cut out a bunch of stuff. And unfortunately, like a lot of your scenes made it onto the cutting room floor." And I was like, that's cool. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. You're a boss bitch. You're trying to make this movie. You're trying to like, reinvigorate your career. It has nothing to do with me or my ego. You know what I mean? Like this is your project. So thank you for telling me so that I'm not like caught unawares. But I'm here for you, whatever you need, like I'm here. And I don't think she expected that reaction. Right. Because
Yeah.
Barbara's used to dealing with people in LA. And I'm a regional actor. I'm from the Southeast. And I was just like, that's cool. It's not about me. Whatever. Like, we'll get it on the next one. It's cool. So when the next one came, she told Joe Lynch about me and she showed Joe my tapes and he loved my tapes. So they like just invited me to come play. I didn't audition for Huxley. They saw what I did. And even Joe told me that once he realized that I'm like a legit actor, that he like expanded the scene for me. Which the scene is like I'm a cop, but I'm also kind of like flirting with Heather Graham's character who's been body snatched. And they expanded that scene for me, and they just invited me to come out and play for a few days, and I had a great time. Like, they're such great people, the two of them, and they Heather was great to work with, and yeah, so that's sort of how I made it onto that project, and was able to support them in that way.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, the second scene is we get the call for the domestic violence call, whatever it was. Um, hey, show, and the husband answers the door, and they're asking questions. Then both you and the other detective walk in, and you're sitting there talking to them, and I see your face. You just look like I was like, she knows something.
Yeah, there was stuff. There were clues and stuff. But yeah, that there were some, I mean, and Joe just kept throwing stuff at us as a director. He was like, oh my God, do this. Oh my God, do that. Oh my God, it would be so funny if. And so, like, Joe just has a great sense of humor, and he likes to throw in these little moments. So a lot of that's Joe. That's Joe being Joe. Oh my God, do this. That would be so funny. Or like, work in this little moment, or y'all do this. But yeah, there's a moment between me and the guy that plays the detective. And we just kind of like, what the fuck is this? Yeah, it's great. It's a fun movie.
It's a lot of unexpected twists and turns that that I did not I didn't see coming. And usually I can
Yeah,
predict like foreboding and foreshadowing, but this time this movie is kind of hard to do with it.
how did you feel they did, so like, obviously, if anybody's listening to this, and we're talking about HP Lovecraft and body snatching, like, there's maybe some awareness to the original story that this is based on. I think it's called The Bodies at the Door or something like that, The Knock at the Door. um but how did you feel Heather Graham did, because she had to play three different people?
Yeah, she nailed it. I mean, I was surprised to see her do it. Not surprised by the sex scenes whatsoever because it's just
No, yeah.
it's her doing boogie nights with that guy back in the yeah, not a big shocker there, but I enjoyed her. I mean, doing three different people. I mean, with three different personalities, it's got to be hard, but she got it. She did it really good. I'm sorry, really well. Um, yeah, it was great to see her do it, and Barbara Crampton at the end doing her split personality at the end.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was great to watch. Like I say, it is a very entertaining movie. I mean, I think usually when I'm watching a movie, if I get bored, I get on my phone and start playing it on my phone. But
Mhm.
my phone was down the entire time. I was like, this movie
Yeah.
has got me sucked. This got me sucked in. I gotta watch this.
Yeah, well, because it just kept going in ways that you didn't expect. Like, for me, when it premiered at Tribeca. So we were at the Tribeca Film Festival. It's the first place that I saw it, and it was the world premiere. So it was really the first place a lot of us had seen it. And we get to the scene where Heather Graham's character is backing the car up, and there's that reverse cam
That was the best kill scene ever.
scene. That scene, oh my God. I exploded in my seat. I was like, oh my God. Like, it's like so good. It was so good. And I grabbed my husband's hand and started squeezing, because I just thought it like, I'm a little squeamish, but not real squeamish. But it was just like the most interesting kill scene I've seen in a movie in a long time. It was like the most original kill scene that I've seen in a long time. It was just really fun to watch.
I thought she was gonna run him over, but backing up then was a lot better.
So much better, right? And then, like, repeatedly,
Yeah.
repeatedly. Ah, oh, so good.
And I'm sitting watching. It's like I had to think of a clever pun for this scene, but I just can't do it. I mean, there's a pun there somewhere.
Yeah, she tapped that real good. She tapped that real
I
hard.
don't
I don't
know.
know.
She
I don't
backed
know.
that ass up. I don't know.
She backed it up real hard. She backed it up so hard she killed him.
Whatever.
I
She
don't
got to
know.
find something clever, some kind of meme. You got to make a
Yeah.
massive generate a meme out of this thing now. I want a mission now to create a meme for that scene.
For that scene, yeah. And if you haven't watched the movie, watch the movie. That scene is just like chef's kiss. So good.
So, if you were directing this movie, I ask almost all the actresses this question: if you were directing this, would have you made a different ending, like an alternate ending to the movie?
Oh, no. No, I like it. Well, and so I have to ask you, did you get that the two women at the end are sisters?
No, no, no,
You
no, no, I
didn't
did
get it.
not.
Yeah, so the
Spoiler
Barbara
alert, spoiler alert.
spoiler, so the Barbara Crampton character and the Heather Graham character, I mean, I believe that they're sisters. They're sisters. And so and they're both in the same industry, right? Which is why they leaned on each other. Because at first I was like, oh, they're best friends. They're best friends, right? They're best friends. But then
Uh-huh.
there were some hints that Joe threw in that I was like, no, they're fucking sisters. And I wouldn't change that. Like that's just it's so interesting to me, right? Like just I don't know. I wouldn't
Well, I
change that.
know, I, I know when they do the whole fingertip thing like this, and they're like sisters forever, blah blah blah. I thought it was just like a metaphor that they were doing, like they're sisters, metaphorically speaking. But if you're saying that's like biological sisters,
I
that's a
think
whole
they
new
were
thing going on.
sisters. Yeah, I think they were like biological sisters. Because if you think about it, they look kind of alike. I mean, because honestly, like if they weren't blood sisters, why do they look so freaking alike? You know,
It's true. It's a good point. A
because
very
you
good
could have
point.
cast anybody as the Barbara Crampton character or anybody as the Heather Graham character if they weren't like blood sisters. I think they're blood sisters. And I think that's also why it was so easy for the body snatch, the character that was switching from body to body to switch into hers because it's the same bloodline, you know? Because if you notice in the film, it went from grandfather to son, right? So like this guy was attracted to bloodlines.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change that. It's just there's just
So
some
who?
like
Because you brought grandfather, father to son. Who is the grand? No one brought the grandfather in whatsoever. It only showed the father and son the entire
oh no
movie.
no sorry. So the older man was the grandfather and this was he the grandfather or this father? The one in the wheelchair. I thought it was his grandfather, but it might have been his father. But he said, but when he was giving a speech, like so the body snatcher character was talking about how, um, like he he's been women, he's been men, he's been old, he's been young. Like he's talking about all these bodies that he's inhabited over the centuries, and it just like made me think. I think there was a something in there about like it's just easier when it's a younger body in the family or whatever because nobody notices or something like this. I forget. It's been a while since I've seen it, but yeah, it just
Calm
seemed like
down.
bad
Sorry, my
doggies,
dogs.
bad
They make the
doggies,
camera bounce.
bad boys. But yeah, I thought they were. I thought they were. So it's a father son, and then it just made sense to me that they were sisters. So like I think subtly, I think they are sisters. That's my interpretation for sure.
That is a that's an awesome theory. I'm gonna have to go back and watch the movie again because I remember seeing Bruce Davison and then Judah Lewis be like the father and son.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that does make sense how it has to be bloodline. So maybe that your theory is very sound. So I'm gonna have to go
I
back and watch that again.
No,
So
I'm gonna have to like text Joe and be like, Joe, were they sisters? Like, I feel like they were sisters. I told someone they were sisters. I'm very convinced that they're sisters. Were they sisters? Tell me the truth. So like, I'll have to text him later and ask.
absolutely. So according to my clock, I got 5 minutes left, and I had
Oh,
just one
dang
more
it.
question for you. And
Sure.
no, this has been a great. This is a fun interview. This is one of the best I've done in a while. This.
Oh, great.
So you have two movies that are in post production. Beverly Hills Cop Actual F, which I'm looking forward to seeing because I'm an '80s kid. I grew up watching Beverly Hills Cop and
Yeah.
Blood Orange Moon. Are you allowed to say anything about those films, or are they still under wraps?
So Blood Orange Moon, we shot over COVID. And as far as I know, it kind of it's an indie film. It was a indie film, sort of a comedy, dark comedy situation. Um, but as far as I know, that movie has been permanently paused because,
Okay.
as you know, with indie films, a lot of movies don't make it past production. There's the whole like thing with money and editing and like the whole post production aspect of movie making that can be a hang up for a lot of people. So as far as I know, that film has been paused, but it would have been a fun one. It would have been a fun one.
Okay.
It's another horror movie that would have been just a lot of fun. Um, Beverly Hills Cop, that one I believe gets released on Netflix sometime this spring. I don't have an exact date top of mind. But in that one, again, I don't know what to expect because even while I was working on the movie, the script changed like 3 times by a
Oh wow.
lot.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think the initial from the initial version to the edit, it's going to be so different than the script that I read that I don't even know what to expect on that one. But I can tell you that like almost all of the OG characters come back.
Well, that's gonna be fantastic. Even
Yeah.
the guy from Perfect Strangers. Oh God, what's his name? The art dealer guy.
Yeah.
Oh my
Ahmed.
God.
Ahmed. Oh, I forget his name. I forget his name. I remember watching him in the Gondoliers though when I was a kid. Um, I don't remember his name. I don't remember his name, but yeah, he's back. He makes a cameo. Like Jude. Was it? I was gonna say Jude Law. That's not his name.
Looking up right now, real quick.
But they're like even Taggart, the guy that plays Officer Taggart, who I thought like is for sure dead. Nope, he's back. Like they got
Is he
everybody back.
really?
Yeah.
Serge. What is
Sergey,
it?
Sergey,
Sergey.
Sergey.
Is it
Yeah.
Echmel?
Yeah. He's constantly changing his name. Yeah.
So Bronson Pinchot, I guess his name. I don't know, but yeah. Oh my
Pinchot, he's
goodness.
French.
So
Pinchot.
anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. This has been a really fun interview. You're
Yeah.
fantastic. I love you. So, um, I can't wait to see you more movies. Yeah, and I wish you nothing but the best in your career and a lot more awards because damn it, you're fucking talented. I'm not gonna lie. I love
Oh,
seeing
thank
you in your
you.
movies.
Thank you. Thanks so much. This has been really fun. Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the beautiful, the talented. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. I'm such a horrible
Say
host.
it. Say it.
Giovanni, oh my God.
Say
Giovanni
it.
Cruz. Okay.
Yay! I give you a round of applause. You got there. You got
I had
there.
the same, I had the same problem yesterday interviewing someone else. Their name just escaped my head. I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm the worst host ever. I mean,
It's okay. It's okay. I work with people. And I'm like, what was their names again? Like we spent like 4 months together. What were their names? Yeah, it happens all the time. It happens all the time. It's fine.
so I think I call it starstruck. That's just who I am. So
Oh, no. Well, thank you. Thank you. It
you
was
have a
that it
wonderful.
was really nice meeting you. Thank you so much for having me and inviting me to play in your playground.
The honor and pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much. You've been a wonderful guest, and have a good weekend and happy Super Bowl. I hope your team wins. Who you're rooting for. So
Thank you. Thanks.
I just go for the beer and snacks.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a lot of cheese, nacho cheese. That's my snack.
Nachos. I love nachos. Anyway,
Nachos.
thank you so
But
much and take care.
thanks. Bye.
Bye.
I've been stuffed in your pocket for the last 100 days. When I don't get my bath, I take it out on the sleighs. So grease up your baby for the ball on the hill. I'll polish them rockets now and swallow.